Variety. It is the middle of July, and we're going to take a look at the garden right now. So, big changes are that we took out the peas and the trellises there, pulled them off, just kind of snipped all the plants at the bottom, and then pulled the whole trellis up. That instead of pulling them off the trellis there, we still had some pods on there that were over ripe, so we just let them sit there. We'll let them dry and maybe save them for seed. So anyway, that's going to make that look a lot different. We cleaned up a lot of the stuff. The only thing I left on there was the big stalk you see there is actually from a beet. So anyway, so we've got lots of stuff. Let's check it out. So there's, as usual, our front part here with the tomato, or this front section here is the most productive and gets the best sun and temperature or whatever it is, but it's always the first to be ripe and stuff. So we have a good little crop of some Juliet tomatoes right there, little great tomatoes. We'll go in and pick those today. And then we have some of these Sweet 100 little cherry tomatoes, several of those. And then in our little bed here with our 3 different sizes of aromas that we planted at the same time, looks like we don't have any ripe ones on that one. Tons of fruit. There is a ripe one on here with a bunch of fruit, and then this one has several ripe ones, so we'll be able to have some 3 different types of tomatoes today. These guys don't have any ripe ones yet. Once again, those are the same variety, same plant, came from the same 4-pack, but just a little bit different of the sun that they get. So they're all looking good, lots of fruit. Happy about that. And then with our beans, when we look down here, they're starting to grow up. Green beans are coming up there. Some of the tall ones are about 4 feet tall. And then our other beans here, looks like they've reached the top. This is our one of our hyacinth beans. It's come up there. And then other ones are kind of not going too high. Some of them don't really like the heat too much, so they're just kind of chilling out down there. And yeah, our Scarlet Runner beans have hit the top here, and so they'll probably we'll probably just take them and get them to go around so that they can keep growing out the side there. That's usually what we do, especially when we only have a couple of Scarlet Runners that survive the process there, got eaten. So we can see once again that the spring garden looks a lot different there with all those peas. So our other paste type tomato is getting real bushy, lots of little fruit there. So nothing red yet, nothing quite very large, but they're getting there. Once again, this is they just get different sun. I think it's because, as you can see the way the sun's coming up, because of this fence right here. This gets sun later, and that gets sun earlier. So it just kind of somehow makes a difference, even though it's not that big of a difference in time. So anyway, and then over here we have, let's see, these are San Marzano. Looks like we got a ripe one there. And then our tomatillos, they're still spreading out. I came through and pinned some more up there. They'll have plenty of good structure, and so we'll probably I've seen some pods, but they've been empty, so probably a little longer, but we'll just let them keep growing. We'll be happy with that. And our asparagus is still nice and leafy. Our volunteer tomato patch is starting to put out. I got some red ones, or almost ripe ones there. I'm still not sure what variety they are, but we'll figure that out once they get fully mature. So then our okra's doing good. Haven't seen any major problems with that. Our eggplant are finally starting to put out some big flowers there. You can see them right down there. Big beautiful purple right there, and then right there too. Oh, yeah, there's a fruit forming right there, so very cool. Finally get some action there. And then with our peppers, looks like we've got some banana peppers there and there and there and there. And then let's see, we've got some peppers here. And then our carrots are finally starting to come back out there. Our basil's looking good. Definitely ready to harvest some of that pretty soon. And then our Thai basil looking okay. Doesn't go quite as vigorous as the other, but still gets there. And then our corn is still pretty tiny, but what I found was interesting is that these guys are starting to tassel, which I don't know if they I thought they didn't do that until they're done growing, but hopefully that's not the case, because they haven't produced any ears yet. So we'll just have to see how that turns out with that new variety. And then once again, so taking all the stuff out, you can see the rebar poles where I had the conduit over it for the trellis, and so obviously it opens it up in there. I pulled a few of the charred stalks out, but other than that, it makes it nice and easy to get to all the things. You can see what we've got and what we don't have. So we have a couple carrots, and then looks like we have a little anemic chard there and another chard there. So once again, kind of at the same time. The difference is that one was in the shade of all that wall of pea vegetation, and that one was not. So that one's like a monster, and that one's like really lame. But anyway, and then our kale trees are looking good here. You can see where they're growing up and where I trimmed them at the bottom. Keep all the stuff off of there. So we've got lots of nice leaves in there and tender leaves down there. So, and then we've got some carrots, and we've got some carrots over there, and a few of the onions there, and then our beets, which we haven't been picking, and then this monster here is all coming out of a beet, which, as I read, they're supposed to actually usually be every other year. For that, it takes 2 years to get this, but this looks like they would be flowers. So I'm not sure. We kind of left it just to see what happens to it, just as we like to do a little experimentation. And our volunteer marigolds have been fantastic. Way better than the ones we planted, because they really never came up. And the same thing with that experiment. Here's our carrot stuff, and you can see there's a ladybug going to town, because there are just tons of aphids in there. So at some point I'll probably pull this out and then just take it away here so the aphids don't contaminate the rest of the garden. But I just really want to see what's going to happen with the seed development there. So then we have our purple bush beans. You can see that they are starting to pod, put some little flowers there. So that's kind of cool. We have two little squash there, and then one of the other guys there. I can't remember which type of varieties they are, but there's some different squash we got going on there. And here's our other beans. I'm pretty sure, based upon the way these guys are growing, is that these are pole beans. So the only thing I can figure is that when I went to plant, I got mixed up with which one was supposed to go out here with the bush beans and which one was supposed to go over there, because the ones over there are new variety, and they definitely look like bush beans. There's no tendrils, no nothing. These guys were what I meant to do is plant the new bush beans out here, but it looks like they are pole beans because they have all the tendrils and they're kind of trying to grow up. So yeah, well, that's what happens sometimes. So anyway, and then our few lima beans here, they look like the couple that made it will be okay, but it's looking pretty sad. Probably looks like we'll just have 3 plants out of all those ones that I planted and then replanted. So oh well, I'll figure it out for next time. And so we can see here that these squashes, you can see that there's the female flower there with the thing. So this is the Gold Rush one, the yellow one. So we'll have some of that soon. There's definitely starting to put some size on. The Black Beauty zucchini, not really putting as much size on, but it's getting up there. So they'll definitely be producing soon. And then so our other little volunteers here, these are our little tomatillos that are a little different. They're they're called Husky Gold, and they're tiny like this, and they have they're totally different tomatillo. They have almost like a citrusy, nutty type taste. They're not really the normal green stuff, but it's like they came up, so we decided to let some of them go, and we'll see how it goes. But and then again, you can see the back side of the fence here with all of our delicious little tomatoes that we got. So we got tomatoes coming in. Pretty excited about that. Pulled out the peas from the spring garden, and then just looking to try and keep up with everything else. And that's all for now. Thanks.